What's up, you guys? It's Layla Lynn, and I'm back with a new video. And in this video, I want to talk about Lexi Brown first. Lexi Brown, the WNBA player, is denying any type of involvement, romantic involvement with Klay Thompson. And she wants to know why. If the narrative is protect Black women, why is she not being protected? So we're going to get into the interview she did with Fox News first, and then we're going to get into Falynn. Falynn Pina is speaking out. Y'all know Porsha did that interview with Carlos King, and he asked her about the whole situation with Simon, which I feel like didn't get addressed enough on the show. Like, they're addressing the divorce, of course, but the actual way they hooked up didn't get addressed enough. And he was asking her those questions, and she basically said she didn't want to speak for Falynn and Falyn's pregnancy, as if to say Falyn's pregnancy speaks for itself. And now Falynn is responding. So we're going to get into that too. But first, if you're watching, if you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And make sure you also subscribe to my crime channel, which there is a link to in the description box and the comment section. All right, you guys. So let's start with Lexi Brown's interview with Fox News.
Me and Klay do know each other because we both play professional basketball. I would have considered him a friend. I do not know Meg Thee Stallion at all. You know, today, I'm still the only person that has denied this entire situation of my involvement and claimed that this is 100% false. And the fact that I'm still the only one that is defending my name, I have no idea how to process that. And that's the last thing that I'm struggling to process, is that there's this massive outcry for protecting Black women, and nobody has mentioned Lexi Brown's name in any of those conversations. I wouldn't have minded if either one of them came out and said it, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are in the relationship. They're the ones that are dealing with this, and they're the ones who are communicating with each other. So one of them, if not both of them, know that it was not me. It could come from one of their teams. It could come from somewhere. The truth is over there somewhere. And I was expecting it to reveal itself from that side of it, the side that actually has the issue. Because again, I have no idea what is going on. I have no involvement. I've had no communication at all whatsoever during their relationship. So for them to just allow me to get dragged, for a lot of people to allow me to get dragged through the mud for, I don't know, it seems like 4 days now, knowing 100% what was being said was false, that surely somebody would step in and say, no, this is a lie. Please point your fingers somewhere else, or don't point them at all, but don't.
Now, my question is, how could Meg do that? She said that Klay Thompson is her friend, so I would expect him to speak out at least, but he actually hasn't even spoken out for himself. He went live from his boat and said how much he missed being on the water, but he didn't talk about Meg or their relationship or their viral breakup. And so her expecting either one of them to speak out is unusual to me, especially Meg, because Meg can't verify what Klay did. And I think that maybe Lexi thinks that Meg saw Klay cheating with a particular person, like one particular person, but I don't think that's the case. I think she found out that he's a cheater in general, and it's multiple women, and Meg can't verify that Lexi is not one of those women.
Point them at Lexi, and by the time the game was over, it had not happened. And, I said, you know what? I'll give it a little bit more time. Surely somebody that knows the truth, and that is almost everybody involved, knows that I was not involved in this situation at all, would surely step in and say something. And it didn't happen. I was getting threats on my life. I was getting threats on my health. My family started getting comments and threats from people. I've had to hire security to travel with me places. So it got to a point where I just was scared for myself.
I do feel bad for Lexi, and I feel like she is doing the right thing, speaking out for herself. And maybe she should have done it that first day instead of waiting, 4 or 5 days and thinking someone else is going to speak out for her. I think maybe she should have spoken out that first day. But at the same time, she does come off as passive aggressive, like she's specifically blaming Megan, like with the whole protect Black women thing. That's a theme that Megan started putting in her music because of everything that happened with Tory Lanez. So it's almost like a dig at Megan in particular when she says protect Black women, when she has to know, the intelligent side of her has to know that Megan can't know who that man was with. Cheating implies sneaking around, and Megan can't verify or vouch for anyone else and what they're doing with their bodies. All right, guys, so shout out to the Bravo Shade Room and to Carlos King. Carlos King was looking snatched in this interview. The jawline was coming through and everything. And he was talking to Porsha about different things, including her former relationship with Simon and how she met Falynn. And this is what she had to say.
And we cast new housewives or friend ofs. We assign a housewife to them.
Right.
I just did Cynthia Bailey's podcast, and I said to her, the network said, you're going to meet Nene, and hopefully Nene likes you. But Nene's going to be your friend, and that's you're going to come in with.
That's just bringing you in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I remember with Falynn, it was the same thing with you. And I remember saying to the world, like, I'm not Porsha apologist, but what I need you guys to understand as a producer is there wasn't a friendship there. And I think when it came to you, did you not think at the time that, oh shit, they're going to think I took this woman's husband?
You know, here's the thing. I take full accountability for my part in the optics, okay? And I take full accountability for not speaking to the narrative once again. At that time, I just didn't feel like it was my place. You know, the things that I knew about her and his relationship, it did not feel like it was my place. I had heard her do an interview and she was like, well, if I'm pregnant, I'll say so.
And so Porsha didn't want to say too much about that. And a lot of people say Falynn's pregnancy speaks for itself. But Falynn left a comment and she said, I respect that this hoe gonna die a liar. And then she took to her Instagram stories and said, I know you lying. See, I was okay with her never speaking on this situation again. But as long as 265 is out here doing interviews, taking accountability, and acting as Captain Save-A-Ho with Carlos King, F it. Time to blow the dust off these receipts so that everyone can take real accountability and this stuff can finally die. Now, when it comes to accountability, looking at the situation from the outside in, to me, it looks like they all were in the wrong. Like if Falynn was sleeping with Jalen, who she eventually had a baby with, then she was wrong. Jalen was wrong. Remember Simon posted those videos of Jalen coming to his home, like on a security camera when he was out of town? That's wrong. But then on the other hand, Simon was allegedly cheating on Falynn too. And so that would be wrong because they're married. And then Porsha getting involved with Simon before he was legally divorced is wrong too. So at this point, I don't see the point of bringing out the receipts when we can all see it. But y'all leave a comment. Let me know what y'all think. As always, thanks for watching.
Slow it down. Okay. Break it. Right.